Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. We know. Internet issues. Doing our best. Hang in there with us if you're driving around listening. Imagine the old-timey way of listening to the program, right? Old-timey, like the radio.
We're on a decent grid on a business side of town, and yet can't get internet. That's amazing.
Very frustrating. Derek Carr, number 11 on the top 50 player sales list. What?
Really?
There's no rhyme nor reason to this list, man. Doug Baldwin is on this list. Who's buying a Doug Baldwin jersey? He's Doug freaking Baldwin.
What are Seattle fans doing? Lockett and Baldwin?
Well, see, look, I can get this, right? If I go through here and look at some of these names, all right. So this is just top 50 sales, and it's, again, everything that they sell. But there's some names where you kind of go, oh, man, that's surprising. Gronkowski's in the top 20. Makes sense. But Khalil Mack, you think so? Maybe. Great player, but top 20? Jersey sales, etc., bobbleheads, all the stuff?
Maybe jerseys don't sell like they used to.
Philadelphia fans are passionate. Carson Wentz? What are we doing here?
All right, that reeks of desperation.
That does. Average-ass season. All right, I get it. Okay, number 12. Okay, now, some of these you go, I could totally get it. James Conner, inspiration. Inspiration. I get it.
Well, and they're raving about him in camp.
I'm rooting for the kid.
In the absence of, obviously, Le'Veon Bell, who's, doing the holdout thing.
Wish James Conner wasn't a Steeler, but I get it. Roethlisberger's on the list. Cam Newton is 22. Clay Matthews is on the list. He's all over commercials. Makes sense. Richard Sherman makes sense. J.J. Watt makes sense. But some guys that don't make any sense. Why is Golden Tate on this list? Who the hell says, I really need I'm going to get a Golden Tate jersey. Golden Tate.
Maybe it's Notre Dame fans?
I guess. Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett. Who's New York? Okay. I don't know. People buying Eli Manning jerseys.
Still?
Yeah, he's 36.
I think he would have bought them all by now.
He's 36 on the list. Who's somebody that, all right. Jordan Howard out of Chicago's on the list.
Jordan Howard?
Yeah, the big heavy-set running back.
Yeah, it's tailback, yeah.
Kirk Cousins is on the list. 48. He's ahead of Larry Fitzgerald.
See, I would figure that the Eli Manning effect would be, the same as Fitzgerald being 49.
Luke Kuechly's on the list. I get that. If I'm a Panthers fan, I'd have a Luke Kuechly jersey. That dude's beast.
Is Jameis even on the list?
No.
Way to go, Tampa.
Listen, again, this is it's released quarterly, so we'll see. I have a feeling.
Top media market, Seattle's out there buying Doug Baldwin jerseys. You can't buy a Jameis jersey.
Seattle fans are crazy, man, and they had a little run. We haven't gone on a run yet. We had one season over 500. You got to win some damn games.
Oh, Kirk Cousins jerseys are selling.
I don't know what that's about. Jordy Nelson jerseys. That's just white wide receiver.
Whoa, come on now.
That's
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's just white wide receiver. They're like, oh,
flexing its muscle.
We got a white wide receiver that can run. This is very rare. He's not a possession guy. He can actually go.
Wait a minute. You don't have a Jordy Nelson jersey, Jeff? We're all supposed to get one. Julian
Edelman's on the list. Top 20.
Oh.
Top 20.
Top 20 a-holes in the league.
He can play, though.
They got thrown. He and Gilmore got thrown out yesterday for fighting, or maybe it was earlier
in
today.
Practice?
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I actually like that. I mean, that's why he's good.
Well, Steve Smith did. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to play double standard, but he's just a notorious red ass on the field.
I think you have to be, if you're a little guy who's got to take some shots. You got to be tough. I get that. Tyler Lockett's number one on this list of people that I am absolutely dumbfounded could be on this list. Now, I get that Demaryius Thomas and Stephon Diggs and even Colin Kaepernick, I get all those guys why they're on here. Travis Kelce with the Chiefs, I get that. And Drew Brees and all these people are on the list, I get it. What are we doing with Doug Baldwin or Tyler Lockett?
I don't know. Maybe they were on 65, 70% sale, and there was
they had to have been almost giving those away.
A refugee camp needed some clothes, so this is a good deal. Let's buy these Tyler Lockett jerseys.
Alshon Jeffrey's 50th on the list. He's the last guy on the list.
Ugh.
Alshon.
The hell? That just tells you. Good God.
I was stunned. Top 10 didn't really shock me. Odell being there, Dez being there. Marshawn Lynch is in the top 10. Makes sense. I get that. Marshawn Lynch being back, I get it. Ezekiel Elliott, any Cowboy. Dak Prescott, okay, fine. Tom Brady's number one. It's not even close. I think he has been for some time.
Still. Now, that's amazing. He's 40 whatever. He's been playing in the
40.
League forever.
He's turning 40, right? I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So since back in 2001.
We did – I will say this. How long do you think he plays? I do find that question interesting because the new norm this is what we're talking about now in terms of records and numbers and what's possible at quarterback with the rules being what they are. I will say I think you're going to get a lot of these guys playing into their 40s. You can't hit quarterbacks. You're not allowed to hit them. The idea that you're back there taking beatings, it doesn't happen. I mean, guys are so careful about where they hit the quarterback, how they hit the quarterback. Can't drive them into the ground the way you used to. Can't hit them below the waist. Certainly can't hit them above the shoulders. I mean, there's a real small area with which you can hit a quarterback. And it used to be you could take 2 steps and hit a guy. No, ain't nobody taking 2 steps and hitting somebody. That was the rule for the longest time. As long as you didn't take more than 2 steps, you could unload on somebody. Not anymore. If you take more than half a step, they're calling that now, and it changes games. Now, that kind of bothers me because I do believe rattling the quarterback is a big part of getting somebody out of rhythm. But given that the rules are the rules, quarterbacks can play forever. I mean, go back to Steve Young and Troy Aikman's career. Those dudes took beatings, ungodly beatings. Look at all those Troy Aikman concussions. Every one of those would be flags. Guys might get thrown out and fined $100,000 now. And they didn't get, not only did they not get fined, there weren't flags thrown. There was nothing thrown.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up the steps thing. It's like the opposite of the NBA and traveling. It's the antithesis.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You can't even, if it's a full, good, hearty step, it's too late. That's too much.
Which is crazy because, listen, if I'm here and I got all of my momentum and I'm playing with leverage, it means I'm forward leaning and low. It's going to be hard. And you'll see guys go through. I think the big thing is the driving them into the ground. They understand now that's the stuff that happened to Francois last year a couple times is the driving into the ground. But, yeah, I would say that you are going to see would you be surprised? I'll give you a good example. Because he's big and he's strong and he's good. And there's your combination, big, strong, and good. Would you be surprised if Matt Ryan played till he was 40, 41? Not me.
No, he's set up to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he's been fairly well protected.
He's also really savvy about when to get rid of the football, when to collapse on the ground and take a sack. Yeah.
Except for in the Super Bowl when you're up 28-3. But I would say...
You said that, not me.
I'm just saying he took a horrible sack on one of those plays that took him out of field goal range. My man, we got to get down there and can't be going backwards.
His love affair with Matt Ryan. He even gets a Gatorade endorsement for saying he lost. You see that?
The thing is, I don't have a problem with him. Your problem with him was the way that he was covered early in his career, but he's not a problem. He's fine.
Unlike Spieth, I don't think he was ever a problem.
No, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's played well. I mean, he's had better years than others. He was great last year.
No, he was brought into. I mean, there is the ideal situation. You put him in any other. You put him in Houston's situation.
Well, that's anybody though. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger walked into a perfect situation in Pittsburgh. They were awesome on defense, and they could run the hell out of the ball, and they asked him to complete 10 passes a game for his first Super Bowl. That was a perfect situation.
That was pretty good.
There are guys – well, listen, I mean, I do think when you go back to the Patriots' first Super Bowl, that's a defensive run. He steps in. Bledsoe gets hurt. By the way, that play, was there a penalty call on that play? I don't think so. I think he just got blown up by the sidelines. Nearly died.
I think he did.
I don't think there was a penalty on that play.
Yeah.
I don't think there was.
I started laughing before you said nearly died.
Yeah.
But he's fine now. He's making wine and stuff.
He's doing okay. But I'm saying, I don't even think there was a penalty on that play. If you hit that guy like that now, you're thrown out of the game. Anyhow, perfect situation for Brady. Now, he's proven himself 10 times over, and he deserves all the credit he gets because he's largely had to throw to bums.
And he was shorted 1 year.
Sure, he got hurt early, and yeah.
Game 1 against Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah. It was the only year I had him in fantasy.
That was the year that Brett Favre went to the Jets.
Yeah, and certain texts that went along with him. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.